Life during the Great Depression in America. Imagine a morning mist slowly lifting over the quiet streets of a small American town in the 1930s. The first rays of sunlight slip through cracked windows, warming weathered wooden walls and worn floors that have stood through dust storms and bitter winters. This is a world where every nail, every plank, every patched quilt tells a story of survival, resourcefulness, and the gentle persistence of hope. If you enjoy stories of times gone by, give this a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us create more content for those who love drifting off to sleep while exploring the fascinating details of our history. Step into a modest home, its wooden frame groaning softly in the morning breeze. The air inside carries the faint scent of kerosene and baked bread, mingling with the dusty aroma of sun-warmed curtains. The floors, scuffed and uneven, creak under your steps, each board polished by years of use. A single room might serve as kitchen, dining area, and bedroom, its walls adorned with faded newspaper clippings or a single framed photograph, the glass cool to the touch. At night, a quilt, stitched from scraps of old dresses, wraps you in warmth, its patches soft and slightly frayed. The kitchen hums with quiet activity. A wood-burning stove crackles, its heat filling the room with the comforting smell of burning oak. On the table, a loaf of cornbread sits, its golden crust crumbling slightly, paired with a bowl of thin vegetable soup, the steam carrying hints of onion and potato. Meals are simple but cherished. Maybe a slice of apple, its crisp sweetness a rare treat, or a spoonful of beans, slow cooked until tender, their earthy flavor grounding. The clink of a tin cup against a saucer, the soft scrape of a spoon, weaves a rhythm into the day. Clothing is worn and mended, each piece a testament to care. Women move through their days in cotton dresses, the fabric thin but soft, their hems patched with careful stitches. Men wear overalls, the denim stiff with field dust, the faint smell of sweat and soil clinging to them. Children, often barefoot, run through yards, their toes dusted with red clay, or slip into shoes with cardboard soles, the leather cracked but polished. In winter, a wool scarf, its fibers rough but warm, shields against the chill, its faint lanolin scent, a quiet comfort. The world outside is a test of endurance. In the Great Plains, dust storms roll in, the air thick with grit that scratches your throat and stings your eyes. The wind howls, rattling loose shingles, and the smell of dry earth seeps into everything. Families seal windows with damp rags, their texture coarse against fingertips to keep the dust at bay. Winter brings a different challenge. Frost coats the ground, the air sharp with the scent of ice, and the cold creeps through thin walls. You pull a blanket tighter, its weight reassuring, and feed the fire, the wood smoky aroma curling upward. Health is a delicate balance. A fever might be treated with a mustard plaster, its sharp, pungent smell filling the room, or a sip of bitter herbal tea, the taste lingering on the tongue. Doctors are rare, and medicine is a luxury, so families rely on home remedies. Onion syrup for a cough, its sticky sweetness masking the bite, or a warm brick wrapped in flannel to ease an ache. Work, though, never pauses. Men labor in fields or on road crews, their hands blistered from gripping shovels, the ache in their shoulders a steady hum. Women scrub clothes on washboards, the water cold and soapy, the rhythmic slosh blending with the chirp of sparrows outside. Children help too, gathering eggs or hauling water, their small hands chilled but busy. Yet there's a quiet beauty in the routine, the soft cluck of hens in the yard, the distant creak of a windmill turning, the feel of warm soil as you plant seeds. These ground you. The work is hard, but it's honest. And the small victories, a basket of potatoes, a mended fence, carry their own warmth. Communities are woven tight, like a well-worn braid. Picture an evening on a sagging porch, the wood smooth under your hands, the air sweet with the scent of blooming jasmine. Neighbors gather, their voices soft, sharing stories over a shared jug of cider, its tartness sharp on the tongue. A harmonica hums in the background, its notes blending with the rustle of leaves and the laughter of children chasing fireflies, their bare feet brushing soft grass. These moments, small as they are lifelines, stitching people together. Sundays bring folks to church, the air inside thick with the polish of pews and the faint mustiness of old hymnals. The congregation sings, their voices rising in harmony, the sound warm and enveloping. After the service, women trade recipes or scraps of yarn, their fingers brushing as they pass a skein, while men lean on a fence, discussing crops, their pipe smoke curling lazily. Children play nearby, their shouts muffled by the crunch of gravel, their games a burst of joy in the quiet morning. These rituals, simple and steady, are the heartbeat of the community. Let's linger with a few lives, their stories soft as candlelight. Meet Ellen, a widow who tends a small garden. Her hands, rough from years of work, sink into the cool, loamy soil as she pulls carrots. their earthy scent grounding her. She trades vegetables for milk at the store, the glass bottle cold in her hands, its faint clink a small music. At night, Ellen sits by a lantern, its glow warm, and mends her son's shirt. The needle's rhythm soothing, each stitch a quiet act of love. Then there's Henry, a factory worker, laid off but unbowed. He walks miles to odd jobs, the road dust coating his boots, the air sharp with the smell of cut grass. At home, he fixes neighbors' chairs or carts. The sandpapers rasp a steady sound, the wood smooth under his palms. Henry shares his earnings, a few coins, their metallic tang faint, with his sister, and they sit together sipping weak coffee. Its bitter warmth a comfort as they talk of better days. And there's young Grace, a girl of 12 who loves stories. She borrows books from a traveling library, their pages soft and inky, the smell of old paper a treasure. By candlelight, she reads to her siblings, her voice soft. The flames flicker, casting shadows that dance on the wall. The creak of the bed frame, the rustle of turning pages, the sigh of her brother drifting to sleep. These wrap the night in a gentle embrace. Step into a modest home, its wooden frame groaning softly at the morning breeze. The air inside carries the faint scent of kerosene and baked bread, mingling with the dusty aroma of sun-warmed curtains. The floors, scuffed and uneven, creak under your steps, each board polished by years of use. A single room might serve as kitchen, dining area, and bedroom, its walls adorned with faded newspaper clippings or a single framed photograph, the glass cool to the touch. At night, a quilt, stitched from scraps of old dresses, wraps you in warmth, its patches soft and slightly frayed. The kitchen hums with quiet activity. A wood-burning stove crackles, its heat filling the room with the comforting smell of burning oak. On the table, a loaf of cornbread sits, its golden crust crumbling slightly, paired with a bowl of thin vegetable soup, the steam carrying hints of onion and potato. Meals are simple but cherished. Maybe a slice of apple, its crisp sweetness a rare treat, or a spoonful of beans, slow cooked until tender, their earthy flavor grounding. The clink of a tin cup against a saucer, the soft scrape of a spoon, weaves a rhythm into the day. Clothing is worn and mended, each piece a testament to care. Women move through their days in cotton dresses, the fabric thin but soft, their hems patched with careful stitches. Men wear overalls, the denim stiff with field dust, the faint smell of sweat and soil clinging to them. Children, often barefoot, run through yards, their toes dusted with red clay or slip into shoes with cardboard soles. The leather cracked but polished. In winter, a wool scarf, its fibers rough but warm, shields against the chill, its faint lanolin scent, a quiet comfort. The world outside is a test of endurance. In the Great Plains, dust storms roll in, the air thick with grit that scratches your throat and stings your eyes. The wind howls, rattling loose shingles, and the smell of dry earth seeps into everything. Families seal windows with damp rags, their texture coarse against fingertips to keep the dust at bay. Winter brings a different challenge. Frost coats the ground, the air sharp with the scent of ice, and the cold creeps through thin walls. You pull a blanket tighter, its weight reassuring, and feed the fire, the wood's smoky aroma curling upward. Health is a delicate balance. A fever might be treated with a mustard plaster, its sharp, pungent smell filling the room, or a sip of bitter herbal tea, the taste lingering on the tongue. Doctors are rare, and medicine is a luxury, so families rely on home remedies. Onion syrup for a cough, its sticky sweetness masking the bite, or a warm brick wrapped in flannel to ease an ache. Work, though, never pauses. Men labor in fields or on road crews, their hands blistered from gripping shovels, the ache in their shoulders a steady hum. Women scrub clothes on washboards, the water cold and soapy, the rhythmic slosh blending with the chirp of sparrows outside. Children help too, gathering eggs or hauling water, their small hands chilled but busy. Yet there's a quiet beauty in the routine, the soft cluck of hens in the yard, the distant creak of a windmill turning, the feel of warm soil as you plant seeds. These ground you. The work is hard, but it's honest. And the small victories, a basket of potatoes, a mended fence, carry their own warmth. Communities are woven tight, like a well-worn braid. Picture an evening on a sagging porch, the wood smooth under your hands, the air sweet with the scent of blooming jasmine. Neighbors gather, their voices soft, sharing stories over a shared jug of cider, its tartness sharp on the tongue. A harmonica hums in the background, its notes blending with the rustle of leaves and the laughter of children chasing fireflies, their bare feet brushing soft grass. These moments, small as they are lifelines, stitching people together. Sundays bring folks to church, the air inside thick with the polish of pews and the faint mustiness of old hymnals. The congregation sings, their voices rising in harmony, the sound warm and enveloping. After the service, women trade recipes or scraps of yarn, their fingers brushing as they pass a skein, while men lean on a fence, discussing crops, their pipe smoke curling lazily. Children play nearby, their shouts muffled by the crunch of gravel, their games a burst of joy in the quiet morning. These rituals, simple and steady, are the heartbeat of the community. Let's linger with a few lives, their stories soft as candlelight. Meet Ellen, a widow who tends a small garden. Her hands, rough from years of work, sink into the cool, loamy soil as she pulls carrots, their earthy scent grounding her. She trades vegetables for milk at the store, the glass bottle cold in her hands, its faint clink a small music. At night, Ellen sits by a lantern, its glow warm and mends her son's shirt, the needle's rhythm soothing, each stitch a quiet act of love. Then there's Henry, a factory worker laid off but unbowed. He walks miles to odd jobs, the road dust coating his boots, the air sharp with the smell of cut grass. At home, he fixes neighbors' chairs or carts. The sandpapers rasp a steady sound, the wood smooth under his palms. Henry shares his earnings, a few coins, their metallic tang faint, with his sister, and they sit together sipping weak coffee, its bitter warmth a comfort as they talk of better days. And there's young Grace, a girl of 12 who loves stories. She borrows books from a traveling library, their pages soft and inky, the smell of old paper a treasure. By candlelight, she reads to her siblings, her voice soft. The flames flicker, casting shadows that dance on the wall. The creak of the bed frame, the rustle of turning pages, the sigh of her brother drifting to sleep, these wrap the night in a gentle embrace. As the stars emerge, imagine yourself on a quiet porch, the air cool and heavy with the scent of distant rain. The world hums softly, the chirp of crickets, the creak of a rocking chair, the faint rustle of a breeze through the trees. The Great Depression was a time of struggle, but also of resilience, of communities bound by shared care, of lives stitched together with small, enduring joys. The warmth of a shared meal, the laughter of a child, the hope tucked into every mended seam. These carried people through. Let these images linger, soft and steady, as you drift toward sleep, wrapped in the quiet strength of those who lived so long ago. As we sink deeper into the 1930s, the days unfold like pages in a well-worn book, each one carrying the scents, sounds, and textures of a world shaped by resilience. Dawn breaks with a soft glow, the air cool and heavy with the smell of dew-soaked grass. You step outside, the earth soft under your feet, and hear the distant crow of a rooster, its call sharp against the stillness. Families begin their routines, the rhythm of their tasks blending with the hum of the waking world. The clink of a bucket handle, the rustle of straw as chickens are fed, the faint creak of a gate swinging open. In rural areas, the land is both provider and challenge. Picture a farmer walking his fields, the soil crumbling under his boots, its earthy scent rising with each step. He checks rows of corn, their leaves whispering in the breeze, and pulls weeds, their roots snapping softly. The sun climbs higher, warming his shoulders, the faint tang of sweat mixing with the sweet smell of clover nearby. In town, the streets stir with activity, the clip-clop of a horse-drawn cart, the jingle of coins at a market stall, the soft murmur of neighbors exchanging news. The air carries the aroma of fresh baked rolls from a bakery, a rare treat for those with a few cents to spare. The passage of time feels tangible, marked by small rituals. At midday, families pause for a meal, gathering around a table scarred from years of use. The wood is smooth under your hands, and the faint smell of boiled cabbage or fried onions lingers. A glass of buttermilk, cool and tangy, sits beside a slice of cornbread, its crust crisp and golden. The soft clatter of plates, the scrape of a chair being pulled closer, weaves a quiet intimacy into the moment. Evenings are for rest, the world slowing as the sky turns amber. You sit on a step, the stone cool against your skin, and watch fireflies blink, their glow a soft pulse in the gathering dusk. While rural life hums with the land's rhythm, cities have their own heartbeat. Imagine walking down a bustling street, the pavement gritty underfoot, the air thick with the smell of coal smoke and roasting chestnuts from a vendor's cart. Tenements loom overhead, their brick facades stained by years of weather. The faint sound of radios spilling through open windows, laundry flaps on lines strung between buildings, the cotton damp and clean, its faint soap scent cutting through the city's grit. In urban homes, space is tight. Families crowd into small apartments, the walls thin and echoing with the creak of floorboards or the muffled voices of neighbors. A single room might hold a sagging bed, its springs squeaking, and a table covered with oilcloth, its surface sticky but wiped clean. The smell of simmering soup, made from scraps of carrot and bone, fills the air, and a loaf of day-old bread Its crust, hard but hearty, is shared among many. At night, a single bulb casts a dim glow, its light pooling on a patched rug, the faint hum of electricity, a small luxury. City work is varied but scarce. Men line up at factory gates, their caps pulled low, the air sharp with the metallic tang of machinery. Some find day jobs, unloading crates, their wood splintered and heavy, or sweeping sidewalks, the broom's bristles hissing against concrete. Women sew piecework at home, their fingers nimble as they stitch gloves, the soft rustle of fabric blending with the tick of a clock. Children run through alleys, their shoes slapping against cobblestones, selling matches or collecting rags. Their small earnings, pennies cool in their palms, added to the family's jar. The city's pulse is relentless, but its people adapt, finding ways to stretch every resource. More daily challenges: health, hope, and hustle. Health remains a quiet concern, especially in crowded cities. A cold spreads quickly, the air damp with the smell of menthol from homemade salves. Families brew teas from dried chamomile, its floral bitterness soothing, or rub goose grease on chests, its oily scent thick but warming. In rural areas, the challenges are different. Cuts from farm work fester without proper care, and the nearest doctor might be miles away. A mother might wrap a sprained ankle with strips of old cloth, their texture coarse but secure, and pray it heals. The faint crackle of a poultice being applied, the soft sigh of relief, marks these small acts of care. Hope, though, is a stubborn spark. Picture a young man saving for a better future, hiding coins in a tin under his mattress, their faint clink a secret promise. He whittles toys to sell, the wood shavings curling soft and fragrant, each cut a step toward his dream. Women trade skills, braiding hair, the strands silky under their fingers, or teaching a neighbor to bake. The yeast's warm aroma filling the kitchen. Children, too, find purpose, tending a small patch of flowers, their petals velvety, or catching fireflies in jars, their glass cool and smooth, their glow a fleeting treasure. These small acts, woven into the day, keep despair at bay. Work takes endless forms. In rural areas, families barter, eggs for flour, the shells smooth and fragile, the flour's faint dust coating hands. In cities, men take to the streets, shining shoes, the polish's sharp smell mingling with leather, or repairing bicycles, the chain's faint clank a satisfying sound. Women mend curtains or bake pies for sale, the crust flaky and warm, the faint sweetness of fruit drawing customers. The grind is constant, but it's laced with pride. The feel of a job done well, the weight of a few coins, the quiet nod of a neighbor's thanks. Communities thrive on shared moments, their connections as vital as bread. Imagine a Saturday night in a small town, the air warm with the scent of cedar and tobacco. Families gather in a barn, its rafters strung with lanterns, their glow soft and flickering. A fiddler plays, the strings singing, and couples sway, their boots scuffing the straw-strewn floor. The smell of apple cider, tart and cool, mingles with the laughter of children spinning in circles, their dresses swirling. These dances, simple but joyful, knit people closer, their shared rhythm a balm. Storytelling is another thread. On a city stoop, the stone worn smooth, elders share tales of better days, their voices low and warm, the faint clink of a spoon stirring tea, punctuating their words. Children listen, wide-eyed, as the smell of roasting peanuts drifts from a nearby cart. In rural homes, families gather by a fire, its logs popping softly, and pass down family stories. A grandfather's journey west, a great-aunt's secret recipe for jam, its berry tang still vivid in memory. The crackle of the fire, the rustle of a quilt being pulled closer, wraps these moments in warmth. Solidarity shows in small gestures. A neighbor shares a basket of turnips, their earthy weight a gift. Or a family opens their home to a traveler, the floor hard, but warmed by a blanket. In cities, soup kitchens hum with activity, the steam from pots thick with the smell of barley and onions, the clatter of ladles a steady rhythm. Volunteers, their aprons starchy, serve bowls to strangers, their smiles a quiet bridge. These acts, small but steady, build a network of care, a reminder that no one faces the struggle alone. Let's linger with a few more lives, their stories soft as moonlight. There's Clara, a city mother who runs a boarding house. Her hands, rough from scrubbing floors, knead dough each morning, the flour dusting her apron, its yeasty warmth filling the kitchen. She serves her tenants, drifters and workers, plates of biscuits and gravy, the sauce thick and savory, the clink of forks a shared music. At night, Clara counts her earnings, the coins cool and heavy, and dreams of a better school for her son, her hope a quiet flame. Then there's Eli, a farmer's son who loves the woods. He explores trails, the pine needles soft underfoot, their sharp scent mingling with damp moss. Eli collects kindling, the twig snapping in his hands, and trades it for a book, its pages worn but precious. At home, He reads by lantern light, the wick's faint smoke curling, his voice soft as he shares stories with his sisters, their giggles a spark in the dark. Eli dreams of adventure, the forest's call always in his heart. And there's little Anna, a girl in a tenement who loves to draw. She sketches on scraps of paper. The pencils scratch a steady hum. The smell of graphite faint but familiar. Her drawings, birds, flowers, her family, cover the walls, their edges curling. Anna trades a sketch for a ribbon, its satin smooth and cool, and ties it in her hair, her smile bright. At night, she falls asleep to the city's hum, the clatter of a distant trolley, the soft voices of neighbors, her dreams vivid with color. As we drift further into the 1930s, the days unfold like a slow river, carrying the textures, sounds, and scents of a world shaped by grit and grace. Morning light filters through a cracked window, the glass cool to the touch, casting soft patterns on a floor worn smooth by countless steps. The air hums with the faint smell of damp earth and brewing coffee, its bitter warmth a gentle nudge to start the day. Outside, the world stirs, the soft cluck of hens scratching in the dirt, the creak of a wagon wheel rolling down a rutted path, the distant bark of a dog echoing through the stillness. In the countryside, life is tethered to the land. Picture a woman tending a small garden, her hands sinking into the cool, crumbly soil, the faint mineral scent rising as she pulls onions, their papery skins rustling. The sun warms her back, and the buzz of a dragonfly darts through the air, its wings a fleeting shimmer. In town, the streets wake slowly, the cobblestones slick with dew, the air carrying the sharp tang of coal smoke from chimneys. A baker slides loaves into an oven, the dough's yeasty aroma drifting through an open door, mingling with the clatter of milk bottles delivered on a stoop. The day's rhythm is steady, marked by small, deliberate acts. At noon, families gather, their chairs scraping against a wooden floor, the table set with a chipped pitcher of water, its surface beaded with condensation. A bowl of stew, carrots and potatoes in a thin broth, its earthy steam rising, sits beside a slice of cornbread, its crust crumbling under a knife. The soft clink of spoons, the murmur of a shared prayer, binds the moment in quiet comfort. As evening falls, the world softens, the sky awash of pink and gold. You sit on a porch, the wood weathered but warm, and listen to the chirp of crickets, their song a gentle pulse in the cooling air. In cities, the depression casts a different shadow, but life pulses on. Imagine weaving through a crowded market, the air thick with the smell of overripe fruit and fresh fish, their scales glinting on ice. Street vendors call out, their voices hoarse, the sizzle of chestnuts roasting on a brazier blending with the clop of hooves on pavement. Tenement windows are propped open, letting out the sound of a baby's cry or the soft strum of a guitar, while laundry flaps on rooftops, the cotton snapping in the breeze, its faint soap scent a clean note in the urban hum. City homes are cramped, but alive. Picture a family in a single room, the walls papered with peeling floral patterns, the air heavy with the smell of boiled cabbage and candle wax. A mattress, lumpy but soft, is shared by siblings, its straw ticking rustling as they shift. A small stove glows, its iron surface radiating heat, and a pot of lentils simmers, their nutty aroma filling the space. At night, a radio crackles, its static giving way to a crooner's voice, the melody warm and fleeting, the tube's faint hum a backdrop to whispered bedtime stories. Urban work is a hustle. Men gather at dawn, their breath fogging in the chill, hoping for a day's labor, hauling coal, the dust coating their hands, or repairing streetcar tracks, the metal cold and slick. Women take in ironing, their arms aching as they press shirts, the starch's sharp scent rising with each hiss of the iron. Children dart through streets, selling apples polished to a shine, their skin crisp and cool, or collecting scrap metal, the clank of tin in their sacks a small victory. The city's grind is relentless, but its small joys, a shared joke, a bite of a warm pretzel, its salt sharp on the tongue, keep spirits afloat. Ingenuity is the backbone of survival. Picture a father patching a roof with scavenged tin, the metal dented but sturdy, its faint, rusty smell mixing with the pine tar used to seal it. He hammers nails, their metallic ping echoing, each strike a small act of defiance against the elements. Women repurpose curtains into children's coats, the fabric faded but soft, their needles flashing in the dim light, the faint snip of scissors a steady rhythm. A broken chair is fixed with rope, its fibers rough but tight, and a cracked pot is mended with wire, its surface cool and smooth. The land and its offerings are lifelines. In rural areas, families forage for mushrooms, their earthy scent hidden under leaves, the forest floor spongy underfoot. A stream yields crawfish, their shells slick and cold, the waters gurgle a soft music as they're caught. In cities, vacant lots become gardens, the soil hard but coaxed into yielding radishes. their peppery bite a triumph. A woman dries herbs on a windowsill, their minty sharpness a small luxury, the leaves crinkling as she crumbles them into a jar. Every resource is stretched, every scrap a treasure. Endurance shapes the body and soul. Men walk miles for work, their boots heavy with mud, the air sharp with the smell of rain-soaked fields. Women carry water from wells, the bucket's handle biting into their palms, the liquid sloshing cool and heavy. Children help, stacking firewood, the bark rough against their hands, or feeding livestock, the hay's dusty sweetness tickling their noses. The work is grueling, but it's laced with purpose. The feel of a full wood pile, the weight of a harvested basket, the quiet pride of a task complete. Deeper social bonds, festivals, faith and friendship communities are anchors. Their bonds forged in shared moments. Picture a harvest festival, the air alive with the smell of roasted pumpkin and molasses candy. Its sticky sweetness clinging to fingers. Families gather in a field, the grass soft underfoot, and share platters of cornbread and stew. The clink of tin plates mingling with laughter. Children run races, their feet kicking up dust, while a banjo's twang lifts the mood, its notes weaving through the crowd. The day ends with a bonfire, its crackle warm, the smoky scent curling into the starry night. Faith holds people steady. In a small church, the air smells of polished wood and old hymnals, their pages soft and inky. The congregation sways, their voices blending in a hymn, the sound rich and grounding. After the service, women linger, trading jars of preserves, their glass cool and heavy, the faint tang of pickled beets, a shared gift. Men talk quietly, leaning on a fence, the tobacco's earthy scent drifting from their pipe. Children play tag, their shouts muffled by the rustle of leaves, their joy a spark in the morning air. Friendship blooms in small acts. A neighbor drops off a basket of eggs, their shells smooth and warm, or a family shares a pot of coffee, its bitter steam rising as they talk. In cities, tenement dwellers gather on stoops, the stone worn and cool, passing around a loaf of bread, its crust chewy and warm. A woman braids a friend's hair, the strand silky, their laughter soft, while men play checkers, the wooden pieces clicking on a board. These moments, woven from care, are the glue of survival, a reminder that hardship is lighter when shared. Let's pause with a few more lives, their stories glowing like embers. There's Thomas, a carpenter with a steady hand. He builds shelves from salvaged wood, its grain smooth under his plane, the faint sawdust smell dusting the air. Thomas trades his work for flour, the sack heavy in his arms, and carves a doll for his daughter, its edges soft and polished. At night, he sits by a fire, the logs popping, and tells her stories of far-off places, his voice low, the warmth of her smile, his greatest reward. Then there's Rose, a city seamstress with a sharp wit, her fingers, nimble despite calluses, stitch curtains by candlelight, the wax's faint honey scent mingling with the fabric starch. Rose trades her work for milk, the bottle cool and clinking, and saves pennies for a new needle, their metallic tang a promise. She hums jazz tunes, her voice soft, the melody drifting through her small room, a spark of joy in the long nights. And there's young Ben, a boy who loves the river. He fishes with a homemade pole, the bamboo smooth in his hands, the water's cool splash against his legs. Ben trades his catch for a book, its pages worn but crisp, the inky smell a treasure. At home, he reads to his grandmother, her shawl soft against his arm. The lanterns glow warm as he spins tales of pirates. The creak of her rocking chair, the rustle of turning pages, lulls them both into a quiet peace. As the night wraps around you, imagine lying in a quiet room, the air cool and heavy with the scent of rain-soaked earth. The world is soft, the faint creak of a house settling, the distant hoot of an owl, the rustle of a quilt against your skin. The Great Depression was a time of struggle, but also of ingenuity, of communities stitched together by kindness, of lives lit by small, stubborn hopes. The clink of a shared meal, the warmth of a neighbor's laugh, the flicker of a dream in a mended seam. These were the threads of life. Let these images cradle you gentle as a whisper, as you drift toward sleep, carried by the quiet strength of those who wove beauty from hardship. As we drift deeper into the heart of the 1930s, the world of the Great Depression unfolds like a quilt, each patch stitched with the scents, sounds, and textures of lives woven by resilience and quiet hope. The morning begins with a soft haze, the air cool and damp with the smell of dew-kissed grass. You step onto a sagging porch, the wood worn smooth underfoot, and hear the faint cluck of chickens stirring in the yard, their feathers rustling like dry leaves. The horizon glows faintly, and the distant creak of a windmill turning in the breeze carries through the stillness. In a small house, the scent of boiling oats fills the kitchen, the steam warm and nutty, mingling with the faint tang of wood smoke from a glowing stove. The floorboards creak under your steps, their surface polished by years of use, and a quilt patched with scraps of faded cotton hangs over a chair, its fabric soft and slightly frayed. Families start their day with purpose, their hands busy with familiar tasks. A woman kneels in a garden, her fingers sinking into the cool, loamy earth, the sharp scent of uprooted weeds rising as she clears space for beans. The rhythmic tap of a hoe against the soil blends with the chirp of sparrows flitting overhead, their wings a soft flutter. In town, the streets hum with early activity, the clip of a milkman's horse on cobblestones, the jingle of bottles clinking in a crate, the faint aroma of fresh bread wafting from a bakery's open door. A man sweeps his stoop, the broom's bristles hissing against stone, the dust swirling in the morning light. The world feels alive, each sound and smell a thread in the day's tapestry. Meals are simple but sacred, a moment to pause. Picture a family gathered around a scarred table, the wood warm under your hands, a chipped bowl of potato soup steaming in the center. The broth is thin but savory, its warmth all carrying hints of onion and thyme, and a slice of cornbread, its crust, crisp and golden, crumbles under your fingers. The soft clink of tin spoons against plates, the murmur of quiet conversation wraps the room in comfort. A glass of water drawn from a well is cool and faintly metallic, its surface catching the light. For dessert, a rare treat, a single apple, its skin taut and sweet, the juice sticky on your chin as you take a bite. These moments, small as they are anchors, grounding the day in care. The city offers a different rhythm, its pulse quick and gritty. Imagine walking through a bustling alley, the air thick with the smell of frying dough from a street cart, the sizzle sharp against the drone of voices. Tenement windows are flung open, letting out the soft twang of a radio tune or the laughter of children playing on fire escapes, their feet clanging on metal. Laundry swings on lines above, the sheets damp and clean, their faint soap scent cutting through the cold dust that coats the air. In a cramped apartment, a family shares a single room, the walls stained but warm, the floor covered with a threadbare rug, its fibers soft underfoot. A pot of beans simmers on a hot plate, their earthy aroma mingling with the wax of a flickering candle, its glow pooling on a wobbly table. Work in the city is a constant hustle. Men gather at dawn, their caps pulled low, their breath fogging in the chill as they wait for jobs, loading crates, their wood splintered and heavy, or shoveling coal, its dust blackening their hands. Women sit at kitchen tables, their fingers nimble as they sew buttons onto shirts. The thread's faint tug a steady rhythm, the starch's sharp scent rising from the fabric. Children dart through crowds, selling newspapers, their voices shrill as they call out headlines, the ink smudging their fingers, or collecting bottles, their glass cool and smooth, each one worth a penny. The city's grind is unyielding, but its small victories, a warm nod from a customer, a shared cigarette's smoky curl, the weight of a few coins, lighten the load. Ingenuity is everywhere, a quiet art form. Picture a mother turning an old flour sack into a child's shirt, the fabric soft and slightly grainy, her scissors snipping through the weave, the faint rustle of thread spooling out. She dyes it with walnut husks, the nutty aroma lingering on her hands, and the shirt takes on a warm brown hue. A father mends a fence with scavenged wire, its metallic tang sharp as he twists it tight, the wood's rough grain scraping his palms. A broken lamp is fixed with a tin can, punched with holes, its flickering light casting lacy patterns on the wall, the metal cool to the touch. In the country, families gather wild greens, their bitter taste softened with the dab of bacon grease, the leaves rustling as they're washed in a basin. In the city, a man plants tomatoes in a crate, the soil gritty but yielding, their sharp green scent a promise of summer. Every scrap is a resource, every act a small defiance of want. The land tests endurance, its moods unpredictable. In the plains, dust storms sweep through, the air thick with grit that stings your eyes and coats your tongue, the wind howling like a living thing. Families huddle inside, stuffing rags under doors, their texture coarse against fingers to keep the dust out, the smell of dry earth seeping through. Winter bites harder, the air sharp with the scent of frost, the ground crunching underfoot. You wrap a scarf tighter, its wool prickly but warm, and stoke the fire, the log's smoky aroma curling upward. Health is a fragile thing. A cough lingers, treated with a sip of honey and onion juice, its sticky sweetness masking the bite, or a fever soothed with a damp cloth, its coolness a relief against flushed skin. The work never stops, though. Men plow fields, their hands blistered from the plow's handle, the ache in their muscles a steady hum. Women scrub laundry, their knuckles red from cold water, the rhythmic slosh of the washboard blending with the chirp of a nearby bird. Communities are lifelines, their bonds warm as a shared hearth. Imagine a Sunday picnic by a lake, the water lapping softly, its coolness a balm against the heat. Families spread blankets on the grass, their edges frayed but clean, and share what they have. A jar of pickled beets, their tangy bite sharp, or a loaf of bread, its crust chewy. The air smells of wild mint and sun-warmed earth, and the buzz of conversation rises, punctuated by the clink of mason jars filled with tea. Children chase dragonflies, their giggles echoing, their feet kicking up dust that glitters in the light. At night, neighbors gather in a barn, the air thick with the scent of hay and lantern oil, a fiddler's tune lifting the crowd. Couples dance, their boots scuffing the wooden floor, the rhythm steady, the laughter soft. These moments, woven from shared joy, are a shield against hardship. Faith is a cornerstone, a quiet strength. In a small chapel, the air smells of polished pews and old hymnals, their pages soft and worn. The congregation sings, their voices blending into a warm hum, the sound wrapping the room like a quilt. After the service, women trade scraps of fabric, their hands brushing as they pass a piece of calico, while men lean on a fence, their pipe smoke curling, the tobacco's earthy scent drifting. Children play nearby, their shouts muffled by the crunch of gravel, their games a burst of life. In the city, street preachers draw crowds, their voices rising over the clatter of trolleys, the air sharp with the smell of hot pavement. These rituals, simple but deep, stitch communities together, their shared belief a steady anchor. Friendship blooms in small gestures. A neighbor shares a handful of cherries, their skins taut and sweet, the juice staining fingers, or a family opens their door to a stranger, the floor hard but warmed by a blanket. In cities, tenement dwellers gather on rooftops, the tar sticky underfoot, passing around a thermos of coffee, its bitter steam rising. A woman knits a cap for a friend's child, the wool soft and warm, the needles soft, click a steady music, while men share tools, the hammer's handle smooth in their hands. These acts, small but deliberate, build a web of care, a reminder that no one walks alone. Let's linger with a few more lives, their stories soft as twilight. There's Agnes, a rural mother who rises before dawn. Her hands, rough from years of work, knead dough on a flour-dusted table, the soft thud rhythmic, the yeast's warm scent filling the kitchen. She bakes biscuits, their golden crust flaking, and trades them for thread, its spool cool and smooth. At night, Agnes sews by lamplight, her needle flashing, mending her children's coats, each stitch a quiet promise of warmth. Her hum, low and steady, blends with the crackle of the fire, wrapping the house in peace. Then, There's Marcus, a city newsboy with a quick smile. He weaves through crowds, the pavement hard under his worn shoes, the air sharp with the smell of ink and hot dogs. Marcus sells papers, their pages crisp, and saves pennies in a tin. Their clink, a spark of pride. At home, he shares a bunk with his brother, the mattress thin but soft, and tells him stories of far-off cities, his voice warm. The cities hum a distant lullaby. Marcus dreams of a bike, its wheels spinning free, and falls asleep to the faint clatter of a passing trolley. And there's little Lila, a girl who loves the stars. She climbs a hill at dusk, the grass cool under her bare feet, the air sweet with the scent of clover. Lila lies back, the earth firm beneath her, and traces constellations, their light a quiet wonder. At home, she draws them on scrap paper, the pencils scratch soft, the graphite's faint smell mingling with the wax of a candle. Lila shares her drawings with her father, his calloused hand gentle on her shoulder, and falls asleep to the rustle of wind through the trees, her dreams bright with light. The seasons turn, each one painting life anew. Spring brings soft rains, the air fresh with the smell of wet stone and budding lilacs. Families plant seeds, their hands muddy, the soil cool and heavy, the faint snap of roots breaking as they dig. Summer hums with heat, the air thick with the scent of cut grass and ripening berries. Children pick blackberries, their thorns pricking fingers, the juice tart and warm. Fall wraps the world in gold, the air crisp with the smell of apples and wood smoke. Families stack firewood, the bark rough, the axes thud echoing. Winter settles in, the air biting with the scent of snow, the world hushed. Families huddle near fires, the logs popping, the warmth curling around them like a shawl. Ingenuity never fades. A woman crafts a broom from straw, its stalks rustling, the handle smooth from use, sweeping her porch clean, the dust swirling. A man builds a coop from scrap wood, its grain splintered but sturdy, the faint cluck of hens a small triumph. In the city, a boy turns bottle caps into toy wheels, their metal cool and dented, his hands quick as he ties them to a stick. Every act, no matter how small, is a step forward, a way to carve beauty from need. As the night falls, imagine yourself in a quiet yard, the air cool and heavy with the scent of distant rain. The world is still, save for the soft chirp of crickets and the rustle of leaves in the breeze. The Great Depression was a time of want, but also of wonder, of communities bound by shared care, of lives lit by small, stubborn joys, the warmth of a shared loaf, the melody of a neighbor's song, the hope stitched into every patched quilt. These carried people through. Let these images linger, soft as a lullaby, as you drift toward sleep, wrapped in the quiet strength of those who found light in the dark. The world of the 1930s stretches out like a faded photograph, its edges soft but vivid with the textures, sounds, and scents of lives, carved from perseverance and quiet hope. Dawn creeps in, the air cool and heavy with the smell of damp clover and wood smoke. You stand on a creaky porch, the boards weathered under your feet, and hear the faint jangle of a cowbell in the distance, mingling with the soft rustle of leaves stirred by a morning breeze. Inside a small house, the scent of brewing chicory, bitter and warm, curls from a tin pot, blending with the musty aroma of a straw mattress pushed against a wall. The windows, fogged with dew, let in slivers of pale light, tracing patterns on a floor scuffed smooth by years of footsteps. Families move through their mornings with a steady rhythm. A man sharpens a hoe, the blade's metallic scrape cutting the air, its edge gleaming as he prepares to weed a patch of turnips. The soil is cool and crumbly under his hands, its earthy scent rising with each tug of a root. In a nearby yard, a woman scatters corn for chickens, their feathers fluffing as they peck, the grain's faint dust tickling her nose. In town, the streets wake with a gentle hum, the clatter of a milk cart's wheels on gravel, the soft call of a vendor hawking day-old rolls, their crusty aroma drifting through the chill. A child polishes a pair of shoes, the leather worn but soft, the polish's sharp tang clinging to his fingers, each swipe a small act of care. Meals are a pause, a moment to gather. Picture a family crowded around a wobbly table, its surface scarred but warm, a bowl of porridge steaming in the center. The oats are thick, their nutty warmth laced with a drizzle of molasses, its sticky sweetness a rare treat. A slice of bread baked yesterday is hard but chewy, its crust breaking under teeth. The soft clink of a spoon against a tin cup filled with weak tea weaves a quiet music into the room. A child sips milk, its creamy coolness a gift from a neighbor's cow, the glass heavy in small hands. These meals, simple and spare, are stitched with love, each bite a reminder of shared effort. In the city, life pulses with a different energy, gritty but alive. Imagine weaving through a narrow street, the pavement slick with morning mist, the air thick with the smell of sizzling bacon from a diner and the faint soot of factory chimneys. Laundry dangles from fire escapes, the cotton damp and flapping, its clean scent a brief reprieve from the city's dust. In a tenement, a family shares a single room, the walls thin and echoing with the creak of a neighbor's chair or the soft hum of a lullaby. A small stove glows, its heat warming a pot of barley soup, the steam carrying hints of carrot and bay leaf. A rug, patched but soft, cushions the floor, and a single candle flickers, its wax dripping slow and warm, casting shadows that dance on a cracked ceiling. City work is a scramble, each day a hunt for something to do. Men line up at docks, their coats threadbare, the air sharp with the briny tang of the nearby river as they wait to unload sacks of grain, their burlap rough and heavy. Women sit by windows, their fingers quick as they darn socks, the wool scratchy but warm, the needle's faint prick a steady rhythm. Children slip through markets, selling matches, their wooden sticks rattling in a box or collecting rags, their texture coarse but light in a sack. The city's hum is constant, the clatter of streetcars, the shout of a newsboy, the soft jingle of coins changing hands. But its small joys spark through, a shared apple, its crisp bite sweet, or a stranger's smile, warm as a fleeting sunbeam. Resourcefulness is a lifeline, a way to bend the world to need. Picture a woman crafting a curtain from old dresses, the fabric faded but soft, her scissors snipping through seams, the faint rustle of cotton falling to the floor. She hangs it over a window, the cloth cool against her fingers, blocking the draft with a patchwork of care. A man builds a stool from crate wood, its grain splintered but sturdy, the hammer's thud echoing as he drives nails, their metallic tang sharp. In the country, families dry apples on strings, their skins wrinkling, the faint sweetness filling the air as they're stored for winter. In the city, a boy turns tin cans into planters, their edges smooth, the soil inside gritty but sprouting herbs, their minty sharpness a small victory. Every act, no matter how small, is a stitch in the fabric of survival. The land and its moods shape every day. In summer, the heat presses down, the air heavy with the scent of dry grass and sun-warmed clay. You wipe sweat from your brow, the salt stinging, and sip water from a ladle, its coolness a brief relief. Dust storms roar through the plains, the grit scratching your skin, the wind rattling shutters, its howl a wild song. Families seal doors with blankets, their weave thick and musty, the smell of earth inescapable. Winter is quieter but sharp, the air biting with the scent of ice, the snow crunching underfoot. You huddle near a fire, the wood popping, its smoky warmth curling around you, and wrap your hands around a mug of broth. its steam soothing. Health is a constant care. A sore throat eased with a gargle of salt water, its briny taste sharp, or a fever cooled with a rag, its dampness soft against flushed skin. Work is endless, its weight a steady pulse. Men toil in fields, their hands calloused from gripping a scythe, the grass's green scent rising as it falls. Women churn butter, their arms aching, the cream's rich aroma blending with the rhythmic slap of the paddle. Children help, gathering kindling, the twigs snapping in their hands, their bark rough and cool, or feeding pigs, the slop's sour smell thick in the air. In the city, women take in laundry, their knuckles raw from scrubbing, the soap's sharp bite stinging, while men repair carts. The wood's grain smooth under the tools, the clank of a wrench a small triumph. Each task, no matter how small, carries pride. The feel of a full basket, the creak of a mended wheel, the quiet nod of a job well done. Communities are woven tight, their bonds a soft glow. Picture an evening in a rural yard, the air warm with the scent of blooming jasmine and cedar. Neighbors sit on crates, their wood splintered but sturdy, and share a jug of cider, its tartness sharp on the tongue. A guitar hums, its strings singing, and children chase fireflies, their giggles blending with the chirp of crickets, their bare feet brushing dewy grass. In the city, families gather on stoops, the stone cool and worn, passing around a loaf of rye, its crust chewy and warm. A woman braids a friend's hair, the strand silky, her laughter soft, while men play cards, the deck's edges soft from use, the snap of a card a steady beat. These moments, small but rich, are the heartbeat of togetherness, a shield against the weight of want. Faith is a quiet anchor, its rituals grounding. In a country church, the air smells of wax and old hymnals, their pages crinkling as they're turned. The congregation's voices rise soft and warm, the hymn's melody wrapping the room like a shawl. After, women trade jars of jam, their glass cool, the berries' sweetness a shared gift, while men talk of crops, their hands brushing fence posts, the wood smooth. In the city, revival tents spring up, the canvas flapping, the air thick with the smell of sawdust and sweat. Preachers call out, their voices soaring over the clatter of passing carts, and listeners sway, their hope a quiet flame. Children play nearby, their shouts muffled by the rustle of leaves, their joy a spark in the dusk. Friendship is stitched in small acts. A neighbor shares a handful of walnuts, their shells hard and cool, the nutty taste a treat, or a family lends a shovel, its handle worn smooth, the metal's faint tang lingering. In the city, tenement dwellers gather in courtyards, the cobblestones gritty, and share a pot of tea, its steam floral and warm. A man carves a whistle for a child, the wood's grain soft, its shrill note bright, while a woman mends a friend's coat, the needle's rhythm steady, the thread strong. These gestures, woven from kindness, build a network of care, a reminder that hardship is lighter when carried together. Let's pause with a few more souls, their lives soft as candlelight. There's Esther, a widow who tends a small orchard. Her hands, rough from pruning, brush apple blossoms, their petals velvety, the faint, sweet scent clinging to her fingers. She trades fruit for cloth, the cotton soft and cool, and bakes pies, their crust flaky and warm, the cinnamon spice filling her kitchen. At night, Esther reads by lantern light, the wick's faint smoke curling, her voice soft as she murmurs psalms, the words a quiet comfort. Then there's Leo, a city mechanic with a quick laugh. He fixes bicycles, the chains clank a steady music, the oil's sharp smell coating his hands. Leo trades his work for eggs, their shells smooth, and saves coins in a jar, their clink a dream of a shop. At home, he whittles toys for his nieces, the wood shavings soft and fragrant, their giggles his reward. Leo hums old tunes, the melody drifting through his small room, a spark of joy in the long days. And there's young Sarah, a girl who loves the library. She walks miles to borrow a book, its pages worn and inky, the smell of paper a treasure. At home, she reads by candlelight, the flames flicker warm, her voice soft as she shares stories with her brother, their shadows dancing on the wall. Sarah dreams of writing, her pencil scratching ideas on scraps, the graphite's faint scent mingling with the night's quiet. She falls asleep to the creak of the house, her dreams vivid with words. The seasons shift, each one a new verse. Spring softens the world, the air fresh with the scent of rain and budding maples. Families sow seeds, their hands muddy, the soil cool and heavy, the faint snap of roots breaking as they dig. Summer hums with warmth, the air thick with the scent of wild roses and sun-baked clay. Children pick cherries, their juice tart and sticky, the pits smooth in the hands. Fall gilds the world, the air crisp with the smell of fallen leaves and cider. Families stack hay, the stalks rustling, the barn's warmth a haven. Winter hushes all, the air sharp with the scent of snow, the world still. Families gather near stoves, the iron radiating heat, the faint crackle of logs a steady pulse. Ingenuity is a constant hum. A woman weaves a basket from willow, its strands pliable and cool, the faint snap of twigs, a rhythm as she works. A man crafts a kite from newspaper, its pages crinkling, the string taut in his hands, its flight a child's delight. In the city, a girl turns bottle caps into buttons, their metal smooth, her needle threading them onto a coat. Every creation, no matter how small, is a spark of defiance, a way to shape hope from scarcity. As the night deepens, picture yourself on a quiet hill, the air cool and heavy, with the scent of pine and distant rain. The world is soft, the chirp of a cricket, the rustle of grass in the breeze, the steady rhythm of your breath. The Great Depression was a time of struggle, but also of strength, of communities bound by shared kindness, of lives lit by small, stubborn dreams, the warmth of a shared song, the weight of a neighbor's gift, the flicker of hope in every mended seam. These carried people forward. Let these images wrap you, gentle as a whisper, as you drift toward sleep, cradled by the quiet resilience of those who found light in the shadows. The 1930s unfold like a river, steady and deep, carrying the scents, sounds, and textures of a world shaped by quiet endurance and flickers of hope. Dawn breaks softly, the air cool and damp with the smell of wet stone and bloom honeysuckle. You step outside, the grass slick under your bare feet, and hear the faint clatter of a bucket being set down, the soft moo of a cow in a nearby field. The horizon glows with a pale light, and the creak of a gate swinging open blends with the chirp of sparrows darting through the morning mist. Inside a small house, the scent of baking soda bread fills the air, its crusty warmth mingling with the faint tang of kerosene from a flickering lamp. The floorboards, worn smooth by years of use, sigh under your steps, and a patched curtain, its cotton soft and faded, sways gently in the breeze. Families ease into their day, their hands quick with familiar tasks. A man chops wood, the axe's thud echoing, the bark's rough texture flaking under each swing, the pine's sharp scent rising in the cool air. A woman feeds a fire, the logs crackling, their smoky warmth curling upward as she stirs a pot of grits, their creamy aroma grounding. In town, the streets stir with a gentle rhythm, the clip-clop of a delivery horse, the soft jingle of coins at a market stall, the faint smell of roasted peanuts drifting from a vendor's cart. A child sweeps a porch, the broom's bristles hissing against wood, the dust swirling in the early light, each motion a small act of care. Meals are a quiet ritual, a chance to gather. Picture a family seated around a table, its surface scarred but polished. A bowl of bean soup steaming in the center. The broth is hearty, its warmth laced with the earthy bite of carrots, and a hint of bay leaf paired with a wedge of cornbread, its golden crust crumbling under a knife. The soft clink of tin cups, filled with water drawn from a spring, weaves a gentle music into the room. A child chews a slice of dried apple, its leathery sweetness a treat. The faint crackle of each bite a small joy. These moments, spare but warm, are woven with the thread of togetherness, each spoonful a reminder of shared effort. In the city, life hums with a sharper edge, its pulse quick and raw. Imagine slipping through a crowded street, the pavement gritty underfoot, the air thick with the smell of frying onions from a push cart, and the faint soot of factory smoke. Laundry swings on lines between tenements, the sheets damp and flapping, their clean soap scent a brief reprieve from the city's dust. In a small apartment, a family crowds around a single table, the walls echoing with the creak of a neighbor's floorboard or the soft hum of a radio tune. A pot of lentils simmers on a stove, their nutty aroma blending with the wax of a candle, its glow soft on a rug, patched with scraps of denim. The mattress, shared by siblings, rustles with straw, its ticking worn but soft, a comfort in the dim light. City work is a daily chase. Men gather at factory gates, their coats patched, the air sharp with the metallic tang of machinery as they wait for jobs. Hauling bricks, their weight heavy and cool, or sweeping warehouses, the dust tickling their noses. Women sew piecework, their fingers quick as they stitch aprons, the fabric starch sharp under their hands. The needle's faint tug a steady rhythm. Children dart through alleys, selling flowers picked from vacant lots, their petals velvety and cool, or collecting tin cans, their metal dented but light in a sack. The city's rhythm is relentless, the clatter of trolleys, the shout of a vendor, the soft jingle of a coin earned, but its small sparks shine through. A shared orange, its juice tart and sticky, or a stranger's nod, warm as a fleeting ray of sun. Ingenuity is a quiet craft, shaping need into possibility. Picture a woman turning an old coat into a child's vest, the wool frayed but warm, her scissors snipping through seams, the faint rustle of fabric falling to the floor. She dyes it with beet juice, the earthy red staining her fingers and the vest glows with new life. A man builds a cart from scrap wood, its grain splintered but sturdy. The hammer's thud ringing as he nails it together, the faint tang of rust lingering. In the country, families dry herbs on a porch, their minty sharpness curling in the air, the leaves crinkling as they're stored in jars. In the city, a girl crafts dolls from corn husks, their texture papery and cool, her hands quick as she ties them with string. Each one traded for a candle, its wax smooth and heavy. Every creation is a small triumph, a way to weave hope from scarcity. The land tests resilience, its moods ever-changing. In spring, rains soften the earth, the air fresh with the smell of mud and budding lilacs. Families plant potatoes, their hands sinking into the cool, heavy soil, the faint snap of roots breaking as they dig. Summer presses down, the air thick with the scent of sun-baked hay and wild roses. Children pick plums, their skins taut and tart, the juice staining their chins. Fall gilds the world, the air crisp with the smell of fallen leaves and cider vinegar. Families can peaches, the jars clinking as they cool, the fruit sweetness a promise for winter. Winter hushes all, the air sharp with the scent of frost, the snow crunching underfoot. Families huddle near stoves, the iron radiating heat, the faint pop of logs, a steady comfort. Health is a delicate thread, tended with care. A fever is cooled with a damp cloth, its coolness soft against flushed skin, or eased with a sip of willow bark tea, its bitter taste lingering. A cough is soothed with a spoonful of molasses and onion, its sticky sweetness masking the bite. The faint clink of the spoon, a small ritual. In the city, colds spread fast, the air damp with the smell of menthol from homemade salves, while in the country, cuts from farm work are bound with strips of cloth, their weave coarse but clean. The work goes on. Men mend fences, their hands raw from twisting wire, the metallic tang sharp. Women churn butter, the cream's rich aroma rising. The paddles slap a steady beat. Children gather eggs, their shells smooth and cool. The hen's soft clucks a gentle backdrop. Communities are a warm embrace, their bonds stitched with shared moments. Picture a Saturday market in a small town, the air alive with the smell of fresh dill and warm bread. Families trade goods, a basket of radishes, their peppery bite sharp, for a skein of yarn, its wool soft and lanolin scented. Voices hum, punctuated by the clink of jars and the laughter of children chasing a hoop, its wood rattling on the dirt. In the city, neighbors gather in a courtyard, the cobblestones gritty, and share a pot of coffee, its bitter steam rising. A man plays a harmonica, its notes soft and warm, while women trade recipes, their hands brushing as they pass a scrap of paper. These gatherings, simple but deep, are the pulse of togetherness, a reminder that joy can bloom in lean times. Faith is a quiet haven, its rituals a steady anchor. In a rural chapel, the air smells of polished wood and candle wax, the wick's faint smoke curling as hymns rise, their melody soft and enveloping. After, women linger, trading jars of honey, their glass cool and sticky, the sweetness a shared treasure, while men talk of weather, their boots scuffing the gravel, the air sharp with the scent of pine. In the city, street meetings draw crowds, the air thick with the smell of hot asphalt and sweat, the preacher's voice soaring over the clatter of carts. Children play nearby, their shouts muffled by the rustle of leaves, their games a spark of light. These moments, woven with belief, hold communities steady, their shared hope a gentle flame. Friendship is a soft thread, woven in small acts. A neighbor shares a handful of pecans, their shells hard and cool, the nutty taste a treat, or a family lends a rake, its handle worn smooth, the tine's faint clank, a familiar sound. In the city, tenement dwellers gather on rooftops, the tar sticky underfoot, and pass around a thermos of tea, its floral warmth rising. A woman knits a scarf for a friend, the wool scratchy but warm, the needles soft click a steady hum, while a man carves a spoon, its wood smooth, its curve perfect in a child's hand. These gestures, small but deliberate, build a web of care, a reminder that no one faces the dark alone. Let's linger with a few more lives, their stories warm as embers. There's Hannah, a rural seamstress with a steady hand, her fingers calloused but nimble, stitch a quilt by firelight, the cotton scraps soft and faded, the needle's rhythm blending with the log's soft pop. She trades her work for flour, the sack heavy in her arms, and sews dresses for her daughters, their laughter her reward. At night, Hannah hums an old ballad, her voice low, the melody wrapping her small house in peace. The fire's glow a quiet comfort. Then there's Paul, a city porter with a quick wit. He hauls crates at the docks, their wood splintered and heavy, the air thick with the briny tang of the river. Paul trades his wages for books, their pages worn and inky, and reads to his siblings, his voice warm. The candles flicker, casting shadows. He dreams of a shop, his hands itching to build, and whittles toys in his spare time, the wood shavings soft and fragrant, each curl a step toward hope. Paul falls asleep to the city's hum, the distant clatter of a trolley, a faint lullaby, and there's young Millie, a girl who loves the fields. She walks through meadows, the grass cool and tickling her ankles, the air sweet with the scent of wild mint. Millie collects feathers, their quills smooth and light, and trades them for a ribbon, its satin cool in her hands. At home, she draws birds on scraps of paper, the pencils scratch soft, the graphite's faint smell mingling with the night's quiet. Millie shares her sketches with her grandmother, their smiles warm, and falls asleep to the rustle of wind through the trees, her dreams soaring with wings. The seasons turn, each one a new brushstroke. Spring wakes the world, the air fresh with the scent of rain and budding maples. Families sow corn, their hands muddy, the soil cool and heavy, the faint snap of roots breaking as they work. Summer hums with heat, the air thick with the scent of clover and sun-baked earth. Children pick blueberries, their juice tart and sticky, the berries rolling in their palms. Fall wraps the world in amber, the air crisp with the smell of wood smoke and apples. Families stack firewood, the bark rough, the axes thud a steady beat. Winter settles in, the air sharp with the scent of snow, the world hushed. Families gather near fires, the logs crackling, the warmth curling around them like a blanket. Ingenuity is a constant spark. A woman weaves a mat from rags, their fibers soft and worn, the faint rustle of her hands a rhythm as she braids. A man crafts a fishing net from twine, its knots tight and cool. The rivers gurgle a backdrop as he tests it. In the city, a boy turns wire into hooks, their metal smooth and sharp, his hands quick as he twists them for trade. Every creation, no matter how small, is a flicker of defiance, a way to shape possibility from want. As the night falls, imagine yourself in a quiet room, the air cool and heavy with the scent of dew and distant pine. The world is soft, the faint creak of a floorboard, the chirp of a cricket, the rustle of a quilt against your skin. The Great Depression was a time of hardship, but also of heart, of communities bound by shared warmth, of lives lit by small, stubborn dreams, the clink of a shared cup, the melody of a neighbor's laugh, the hope woven into every patched shirt. These carried people through. Let these images cradle you gentle as a breeze as you drift toward sleep. wrapped in the quiet strength of those who found light in the dusk.